This week's art chat is going to be about submissions and open calls. I have been quite busy lately, finishing off a bunch of submissions and applying for open calls. And to my delight, I have been accepted into some of them. So, what is a submission or open call? To sum it up, it is a request for an artist to apply for things like a gallery show, a specific project, a opportunity to get your work critiqued. There's a bunch of different kinds. There's many different kinds of open calls and submissions. And that's what I've been busy doing. I have about 15-20 minutes before I have to go to work, and I'm sitting in my truck. So this is probably, if you hear some ambient sounds, it's the sounds of nature around me. But I've been trying to make these videos relatable to what I'm doing in my personal life, or my artistic life, I suppose. And this month has been all about submissions and open calls. So what do we need to talk about submissions? Submissions, there are so many out there, so many resources. I always find that I find the submissions suited to my skills. So if I'm doing watercolor, I might look for a watercolor open call and put in a submission. Another thing I do is theme-based submissions. So, you can find millions of submissions out there for whatever theme you could possibly think of. And I will always read through the theme and the whole feel of what kind of show the curator is going for. And if it's something that suits my style and my thoughts on a certain theme, then I'll apply for it. So the first submission that you see me painting here is for a city banner competition. Now, this wasn't one that I picked to submit to. My children had asked me if it was something that we could do, and I thought it would be fun. And it was great fun to do it as a family. We all did 2 pieces each and got to go to the showing of them, and the kids loved that. And it was a good time. It was nice to meet people and get some feedback on my work. This is probably the first time I've done a watercolor for show. Sadly, we didn't get picked for the banners, but if you've seen some of the creations that they had on display, I do not feel bad about it at all. There was some very beautiful work there. The second submission that I applied for is for a gallery show with the theme of boundary. I will put a picture in of the painting, the finished painting. And I don't hear back from this one until next week, whether or not it was accepted. But regardless of whether or not it was accepted, I really enjoyed painting this piece. I enjoy painting pieces where there is a research aspect and a thought process behind doing it. A lot of my paintings do have a thought process that go into them, but that added research aspect is something that I've really been enjoying doing lately, and just delving into different topics and learning about them. Another thing that I applied for as an open call was an art market, and I was accepted into the art market, and even if I do not sell anything, I think that this opportunity will be valuable because it will be critiqued by the art council, so I will get some feedback on my work and also on my display setup. And I think that in itself, from people who are objective, are not my friend and don't mind giving me critical, helpful, constructive criticism, will be beneficial for me. And the last open call that I heard back from was for mentorship. I'd actually put in an open call application for mural artists for around the city, and it's something I've been trying to convince people to let me do. And let me tell you, it's very hard to find people willing to let you paint on their buildings if you have no experience, even with offering the service for free. So they reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in a mentorship program that they're doing with a mural artist they are bringing into town. And at first I wasn't sure if that was something I could participate in because my schedule is pretty crazy this month and next month. So I thank them for offering it. I gave them my schedule and asked them if they were able to work with that schedule, and if not, then I completely understood. And the artist and the program were both willing to work around my schedule, so that was very exciting. So I'm very excited to be doing that. I'll be starting that next week also. So this next couple weeks are going to be super busy. I'm going to be super tired. I still have to work my regular job for part of it. So I am going to be exhausted. And I'm willing to accept that because these are things that I want to do, that give me joy. When I start getting tired and think about all the things I still have to do in the next couple weeks, it would be very easy for me to get overwhelmed and maybe jaded a little bit, because I tend to get jaded when I'm tired. But I just find that, sacrificing a little bit of sleep for the next couple weeks so that I can engage in things that I enjoy, and that will give me opportunities to socialize and meet people and talk to people. I think that is a valuable sacrifice at this point. I feel like the learning benefit will outweigh the minor inconvenience of a couple hours of lost sleep. And realistically, when I was younger, I went on a lot less sleep, so it's not like I haven't been put in places where I've had to do that before. I just think the older I get, the more I value my sleep. And at this point, the learning opportunities that I'm going to be presented are definitely worth the little bit of tiredness. What else can I say on submissions? Submissions they vary so much. The guidelines that you need to follow are usually really well laid out. Most submissions ask for an artist bio, a quick write-up about who you are and what kind of work you do. I think pretty much all of the submissions I've ever put in for individual pieces, they always want an artist statement on the piece and photos, because I do all my submissions online. having good photos of the painting that is reflective of what it looks in person is probably one of the most important things, because if it's not reflective of what it actually looks like, it's hard for somebody to look at that and say, yes, this is what I want. So that is something that I've definitely been working on in the last few years, is getting better at photographing my paintings. And the last bit I want to talk about for submissions and open calls is, once you actually get accepted into the open calls, making sure that the piece is presented in a presentation style. So if it's a watercolor, does it need to be framed? Same thing with canvases. Is it a gallery canvas, or is it a skinnier canvas that needs a frame to be presented properly? Proper hanging implements. Most submissions will give you a guideline of what hanging implements you need. Most of them, I find, are usually the D hooks. So having all the hardware put on, and then giving thoughts to things like the transportation of it, making sure it's packed well if you're shipping it, things like insurance. The insurance aspect I'm still looking into right now. And but yeah, if you have any questions that you would like me to go over, or anything that you would like to know more about with submissions and open calls and my specific process of going through those, feel free to leave a question or a comment, and I will make sure to come back and touch on those. But now I get to go off to work, so I hope everybody has a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.